couple things to start off with is that no one that knows me very well would ever believe that I would be the low-tech presenter here tonight. Is that my iPad and things like this, but no one would believe I would be using a podium and some speaker notes here. Number two, I want to thank a good friend of mine who's here, Martin. Martin Park's here with me, and before we came in, Martin told me a couple things to think about. He goes, Eric, I want you to remember in his best English accent that speeches have beginnings, middles, and ends. But only the very best ones have the beginning and the end very close together. So I'm going to try to make my good friend Martin proud. Good evening again. It's great to be here with you with TEDxICT, and I'm proud to be a part of this. Everything I've learned about success, I learned from South Park. And everyone chuckles about that. That's great. Because one of the things that I want to leave you with is that there are great philosophers all across the world, Plato, Aristotle, but I believe the best modern philosophers today are the gnomes from South Park. Those gnomes provided a framework for success that we all ought to figure out a way to embrace and to follow as we go forward. The gnomes, if you remember that great South Park episode, if not, you'll get a kick out of it, you'll get a feel for this, is they had a three-part plan. And as we know, every great plan has three parts. Their phase one of their great plan was steal underpants. Phase two, phase three, make a profit. Let me start with phase one. Phase one, dare I say it again, please don't put me on YouTube. As an athletic director, I have to be careful about what I say. Some are not as careful as they ought to be, but that's me, those social media places, that Twitter, over there, be careful with that. Phase one, steal underpants. For the gnomes, that act was singularly the most important activity to put their great plan in motion. It was required to do all the things that they wanted to do. In fact, Lynn would prefer us to steal overalls. But I want to be on record to say, do not go out and steal underpants. But for us, the equivalent of stealing underpants would be defining a set of goals or a set of principles for us for which we act and we use as a guidepost as we go forward. It can be as simple or as elaborate as we want, but it needs to exist. But that vision and direction is what provides the foundation for us to proceed and to achieve our dreams and success. We need to focus on those kinds of things, that stealing underpants, to do the things that we want to do. In Shocker Athletics, we work toward creating an environment that allows all of our student athletes and our coaches to be successful. I'll give you just a summary of our vision. Our vision is to be a national leader in athletics, and I'm going to be looking for a score here shortly. We're playing Missouri State right now in Springfield, so hopefully we're achieving our vision of beating those little bears to death tonight. We want to compete nationally. We want to compete in postseason play. We want to have great academics, and we want to do this all in an environment of integrity and sportsmanship and provide the highest entertainment value. That's really what our vision is. That's really a big mouthful, but through embracing that vision, our stealing underpants, we know a path. I would challenge each of you today to begin to think about, what is your stealing underpants? What is your vision that you want to embrace to act as a foundation as you go forward? Now on to phase two. Phase two. This phase requires you to really personalize all of the preparation, all of the activities that each of us perform and the work that we do, so that we're in a position to what? Let's say it again. To do what? Now you're talking. But in my world, I call this building your vehicle. And I may date myself. Think of yourself as a vehicle, and as you're building that vehicle, are you a sports car, or are you a Yugo? Or do you hope to be a transition? We heard about. Visualize that, because that's what we all are trying to do in our lives, is to build our vehicles and build ourselves in a vehicle that allows us to take any opportunity that comes to us and make the best of it. Whether that's a smooth road or a bumpy road. In my world, I think of trying to create an SUV, but I may change that to becoming a transition, because that's pretty cool. But you should create your vehicle so you're ready to take advantage of any road that presents itself, even the snow-packed and icy roads of Kansas. Not so much this year, but maybe we'll probably get it down the road as soon as I say that, knock on wood. You should be flexible and adept to take advantage of any of those opportunities as I talked about, no matter how difficult. For me, it's been just an incredible ride of the building my own vehicle, of starting out as a marketing rep at IBM to then becoming the Director of Government Relations at Wichita State University, representing Wichita State at the local, state, and federal level, now to become a Division I athletic director at Wichita State University. Now extend that piece to your own organizations, your own lives. You should work to develop an organization that creates a foundation of success built around teamwork. This isn't really unique, but this is what we strive for in Shocker Athletics and at Wichita State University. We work to have individuals accountable and responsible with their respective roles while allowing them to create their own vehicles, which then allows them to achieve our vision and our goals as we try to be successful in Shocker Athletics, or for them to be successful in their own lives. The phase of the GNOME's Great Plan relates to engaging into whatever it takes to make yourself or your organization prepared for success. I have an adage that I tell a lot of my political friends, because I have some political background that some of my friends, my good friend Shelley, will know, is that I tell my political friends and I tell my own staff all the time, I'll be for you, I'll be agin you, whatever is most helpful. So what I mean by that is we need to do whatever it takes to prepare ourselves for success. If it means standing over in the corner on our heads, it means standing over a corner being on our heads to be successful. Now we've done phase 2. Now we're ready for phase 3. Make profit. For each of us, that making profit is about aiming an implementation plan toward achieving an outcome. So that making a profit is doing just that. One of my great mentors, Fred Suderman. Fred Suderman was the Director of Government Relations, originally hired me at Wichita State University. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But he gave me a foundation to live by that I tried to build into my life today. And I want to share that with you tonight. Do a great job that needs to be done and focus directly on the job in front of you. He instilled this advice in me, but actually built upon the advice and counsel that my parents gave me. And unfortunately, my dad, a little bit like the cats in the cradle, he had other business to deal with tonight. He's a very, very busy man. I think he actually had a church conference tonight. So he sent me off on my way to do this. So I wish he could have been here, but that's okay because he's attended enough of these things and he's listened to me blather on long enough. But as I was saying, whatever you do, make sure you do it well. In determining what to do, make sure it has meaning and is something that needs to be done. Above all else, Focus on the job you have chosen, regardless of the other things happening around you or tempting to distract you. So many times we embrace working very hard, but sometimes not so much working very smart. I tell folks all the time, sometimes people get nervous when I say this. My wife, any of you that know my wife understands that I make her nervous on a regular basis, is that I am not the most industrious guy. But I'm going to be efficient, and I like my fun, and I'm as an IBMer, I play hard and I work hard. But working smart is what I embrace, not working harder for working harder's sake. We must always strive to deal with important issues, not just the easy ones. Future looking and striving for things beyond us is really important. But as I talked about, if we fail to do the things that are right in front of us, the opportunities for success are greatly diminished. Let me give you a quick example of that. And I'm watching my clock. I'm in good shape. Give you a quick example of this. A young man was a member of the Kansas legislature, and he was running for re-election. But at the same time, he was wanting to become the Speaker of the House. And to become the Speaker of the House requires you to make friends across all of the members of the House of Representatives, help them get elected, go out and shake hands, kiss babies, all of those kinds of things. And he did that during an election cycle, just like we're coming into. He did a great job. He had developed friends across the state. He was prepared, ready to go, and become the Speaker of the House, except for one key point. He forgot to get reelected to his own seat. He forgot to focus on the job directly in front of him. He had a goal. We embrace these goals and we're going to shoot for these goals way out there, but he forgot to do the job right in front of him, which was to do what? Get elected. It's hard to become the speaker if you don't get reelected to your seat. In athletics today, there are significant issues of turmoil and volatility in the environment. It's easy to get in the mode of chasing balls or running down rabbit holes. The South Park Gnomes have provided for me and for any of us an important lesson in their three-part plan. Focus and discipline to stick to a plan and prepare for any contingencies, all aimed toward a particular outcome. In closing, the three-part plan that the Gnomes laid out from South Park for success is really critical. In fact, I would not be standing here today if I had not embraced that. So I thank them, and I thank the creators of South Park for giving me that foundation for success. That plan, as I talked about, phase 1, steel underpants. And that really is talking about defining a mission, define a vision, and a set of goals to strive for. Phase 2, be prepared and flexible to take on opportunities as they come by developing your vehicle of success. Phase 3, make a profit. Your profit will come from the lives that you touch in your chosen profession and how you bring your vision to reality. Point of that is steel underpants. And again, thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I wish all of you much shocker success.